when you've decided to implement the no contact rule with a fearful avoidant ex, you're stepping into a very complex and emotionally charged process. But this method is, to be honest, way more than just about, cutting communication, as a lot of people say these days in our breakuposphere. This method, the no contact rule, it has a lot more to do with self-discovery, healing, and potentially laying the groundwork for a healthier relationship dynamic with your ex in the future. Anyhow, let's dive into how to navigate this challenging but potentially rewarding path. The first thing to understand is the whole fearful avoidant attachment. So a few words about that. These individuals are often caught up in this very toxic push-pull dynamic. They crave closeness, yet they fear intimacy. And therefore, their behavior can be very confusing, very painful, not just for them, but you as well, obviously. The other thing to understand is this whole no contact thing. So, no contact is, for those perhaps uninitiated who never heard about it, it's exactly what the name suggests. It is the act of cutting all contact with your ex after a breakup, or at least limiting it very heavily. Now, this process is often incorrectly thought of as this manipulation technique to get your ex back, whereas in reality, it has very little to do with your ex, even if you want them back, and much more to do with you and, to be more specific, your recovery. It's a process of inward growth rather than this outward expression of disinterest. Now, no contact allows you to take time away from the post-breakup push-pull dynamics, and it allows you to unwind and release some of your anxiety and remove yourself from any potential, post-breakup gameplay. You can also give yourself a lot of time to think and create a need for yourself in your ex's life by going no contact. So basically, when you go and apply the no contact rule, when you distance yourself from your ex through it, you increase your value in their life simply by reducing supply, as often discussed in various concepts in basic economics, as well as simply psychology. I mean, think about it this way. When you are constantly trying to reach out to your ex, you often come across as very needy, which then makes the fearful avoidant especially cautious of you and way more likely to just run farther away, making it a pain in the ass to ever reconcile. Now let's talk about the initial impact when you go no contact on a fearful avoidant. I want you to expect the first few weeks of no contact to be, particularly challenging. The silence can feel deafening, and the urge to reach out can be really overwhelming. However, this critical period is kind of the emotional detox and recalibration that both you and your ex need. Unfortunately, it's also when the most intense withdrawal symptoms appear. But on the flip side, it is also a time when you start to regain a little bit of emotional independence, simply due to the fact that you have some distance, physical and emotional, between you and your ex. So overall, just be prepared for an emotional roller coaster. Also be prepared for your ex to reach out, because fearful avoidance in general might attempt to re-establish contact and often will oscillate between wanting closeness and then retreating in fear. So if your ex does reach out, the most important thing to do, granted you want them back, which most people watching this video do, I want you to just engage in a short conversation, maybe a 3 to 5 text message exchange, or let's say a 5-minute phone call. Then, preferably somewhere at the start of this conversation, I would simply go for a date invite, and I would specifically say something like, "It was nice hearing from you, but I've gotta run. Tell you what, why don't we meet up? I'd love to see you. What time are you free next week?" Really that simple. Now, after you invite your ex out, you will get 1 out of 3 responses. Either they agree to the date, in which case, all you have to do is agree on a time and location that suits you both and then make it official, or they reject you or give some bullshit, wishy-washy, half-ass answer, like, I have to check my schedule, I have some errands to take care of, I may be late, I don't know if I want to go out with you, bullshit like that. In all of these cases, so either a wishy-washy answer or a rejection, the way you treat it is pretty much the same. Go back into no contact, go back to not communicating with your ex. That is, until they reach out again, at which point give the date invite another shot. And that's pretty much all you have to know about go in no contact with a fearful avoidant ex that you want to ultimately re-attract. Now, if you want to go deeper into my process for getting an ex back, download my re-attraction cheat sheet, link below this video, and I will see you later.